Welcome to the 1-year anniversary episode of SpakerSpot, your daily dose of physical activity. And without further ado, here they are, Megan Baker and Kristie Spiers a year ago.
Hey, welcome to SpakerSpot. I'm Coach Spiers.
And I'm Coach Baker.
And here's your daily dose of physical activity.
Wow, 1 year ago today. How are you?
Good.
Yep, we're doing
Kristie Spiers and Megan Baker are in the house. Kristie, we'll start with you. It's been a little while, but how are you doing? Love the hats, by the way, representing KC there in the Belton School District. Gotta love it. I see you got your merch, your SpakerSpot cup, and I just want to say thanks because this made its way all the way to me. So again, big fan supporters, and that is real water. And then last but not least, a little bit happened since I've seen you. I'm sure you all know about Zag Pro Academy and the success of the recent master class that was done in February. But thank you. But with that, let's get into the 1-year anniversary. So let's kind of start with your backgrounds. And Megan, let's start with you. You're a 13-year veteran. You've been in secondary education for quite some time. And basically, for the last 9 years, you've been at the middle school level right there in the Belton School Districts, correct?
Yes. Yeah. Same thing. Met Kristie through work. We both coached softball together, and we were hit in this shutdown with the pandemic, and I needed a way to fulfill that need with my students. She needed a way to do that. We kind of teamed up, and we had that chemistry and that same kind of passion. If you didn't know, Kristie and I were both outstanding majors of the year, just, a little bit of years in between that. But that kind of fueled our passion for that, and I'll let her add to our story behind the scenes.
Yeah, just like what Baker said, we both coach softball, and we both felt like we wanted to fulfill a need for our students. And I do have to give a big shout out to being friends with Sean Nevels on Facebook, because he was the one that reached out to me to start the Stuck at Home Recess, and here we are.
So Kristie, but you teach elementary, obviously. Megan, you're with the middle school, so you have really a nice big range of teaching tools that you've made through this past year. So let's like a good story. How about once upon a time when there wasn't COVID and you were just teaching your regular PE classes, correct?
Yeah.
So talk to us what happened once the pandemic hit. Give us a little behind the scenes, because I think what we'd all like to know is, how did SpakerSpot actually begin?
Like Baker said, we all got hit with the shutdown, and we both want to fulfill a need for our students. And, coming from an elementary background, she had secondary, we both had ideas, and we both wanted to continue to do something. And so she's like, let's just start a YouTube channel. And I was like, okay. So we spent our entire spring break putting out all of these videos, getting stuff together. We were launching a video a day, and next thing you know, here we are doing a Stuck at Home Recess. We had all of these other, episodes air as well, and it has been so fun. But that first episode that we shared has gone viral, and like I said, it's been fun.
So, Kristie, to the tune of over 7,000 views. And I can just tell this story. I can remember when Sean Nevels introduced you two to our team at Missouri Healthy Schools, on our marketing planning team. And I was doing some research, obviously checked social media, saw the amazing coaches that you are, the amazing educators that you are, the fact you were both majors of the year, and also, Megan, you being the past future professionals president for MoShape. So we knew we were working with some dynamic people, but what I didn't realize is your first video had over 2,000 views. That's huge in the world of social media. So I was like, we're getting kind of some YouTubers coming here. And, Megan, with you, I've called you or hashtagged you before as YouTube mom, so that's kind of cool. But with that, So Megan, talk to us. Yeah. How did this whole concept begin of SpakerSpot?
Oh, it was really fairly simple. We wanted to fulfill that need. We wanted to bring a familiar face into our students and for all the students in our district. And we had the same passion to do that. We put, Spiers and Baker together and came up with Spaker. But it's just been a crazy ride. I don't think we put a whole lot of grandeur ideas together. I mean, the first time you asked us for our Twitter handle, we were like, we don't have one. We would have only been putting it out through our own personal Facebook. So we felt kind of small time at that point. Like, what are we really getting into? But it's just been, we're borrowing friends' kids to put them in the video. And we both worked and coached at a softball facility, Velocity Academy. So that was kind of our home base for a lot of these videos. And we just kind of went from there. But the brainstorming was a lot of fun. There was a lot of laughter. And it's just been a really great ride.
Well, speaking of a ride, that it is, and I'm going to bring people up to speed and just take a look at this graphic here. So when you launched, Shawn Nevels had done 3 Stuck at Home Recess episodes. They were so fun. He did such a great job, with his kids in the videos. But then Shawn brought you to our team, and I can just tell you this: when you talk about at that time you're thinking small time. I'm walking in thinking, no joke, I just got done with Chalk Your Walk, with MoShape and with Shape America working in concert together. As you know, that hit 44 states and 3 countries. That amazing campaign of 2 days of sharing kindness and positivity to do what? Promote Health Moves Mind. So I'm walking in thinking, how do we go national, right? This is all I'm thinking. So with that, here's the evolution. SpakerSpot began, you did 5 episodes of Stuck at Home Recess. When you hit the scene, you were already doing well over 1,200 views an episode. Then we get into June. This is when you started to launch Spaker Games, and an interesting thing happened there, which I'll get to in just a second. Then you went into Spaker Camp, and then there was a pivot because now Shape America just came out with what? They had their new guidelines that they created for reentry, right? So that's when we kind of pivoted, and that's when you did Spaker tips with routines and procedures based on that guidance. And those were some really, actually very helpful content that you were putting out. Then one of my favorites is the brick to click. Oh my goodness, it's a marketer's dream. They have a hashtag brick to click, and it wasn't even being used that much. So, and of course, the whole series that you did. Well, we're going to show that. Matter of fact, you know what? Let's not waste any more time. Let's show that preview right now. So let me go pull that up for us, okay? Hang on. This is the nice thing about live. I just hope I pull up the right video. It's always the tricky part of this, but here we go. A little brick to click.
Hey! I'm Coach Spiers.
And I'm Coach Baker.
And we're SpakerSpot. Wondering what you're going to do with all your cones?
What about that playground ball?
How about your paddles?
What about your hula hoops?
And your frisbees?
And your exercise balls?
How about your fitness dice?
And those rubber chickens?
What about your plungers?
Check us out next week at 4 for activities you can do outside, inside, and virtual.
We appreciate all of your love during our journey of our Stuck at Home Recess episodes, summer series, routines and procedures, and now our new fall series of Brick to Click. See you next week.
Wow. I remember the first time I saw it, and I was just like, mic drop. All right, we have to start right here. What was your reaction, Kristie? Let's start with you. Obviously, you're the masterminds that create this insanely great content. This one was such a home run, so timely, obviously with going virtual or hybrid, the brick to click concept. Kristie, let's start with you. What's your reaction now looking back at that promo episode that you did?
How did Baker just have a brick laying around? Really?
I have a brick in my car.
Yeah. I mean, well, behind the scenes of that video, Baker was like, why don't we just throw out all this equipment? And we were at my home gym at the elementary school. And I was like, I'm just going to grab basically any random object. And it led to a very fun intro and a lot of attention based off of the plunger. So
yeah,
it was fun.
And Megan, how about you? Your reaction?
Yeah, no, doing the intros are so fun because we randomly just like raided the elementary closet and was like, let's throw this, let's throw this, let's do this. So I think one of the most fun parts is doing the intros of all of the videos.
Intros and outros were always the most fun. And that is where most of the creativeness it just sets the tone for the entire video and episode. So I love doing the intros.
I think it's just the most takes too.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. So your last series was Flip the Fit, talking about intros. I'm actually going to give some comment after we see it because Kristie, I look at you in a whole different way after seeing this video. So let's bring up that clip for everyone so we can all enjoy this one. Let's take care of this right now. That's what I love about being live. Just having kind of fun. I'm just pressing a few buttons, and hopefully, again, I'll press the right one here. And this is it. Here we go. This is Flip the Fit.
It's time to flip the fit.
Wow. This time, Megan, let's start with you. Here's another clever, brilliant idea. You brought in the theme from Rocky. I think the only thing, two things are missing. Number one, why didn't either one of you drink the 3 eggs like he does in the very first Rocky? And then we were hoping for Adrian, I did it. Just saying,
Yeah.
So with that, Megan, what's your reaction? Because I got to tell you, your last series, the Flip the Fit, wow, what an intro for that. So what's your reaction to that?
Yeah, no, that was the most fun like intro we did, and we were both like completely in sync on what we were gonna do. It took like no time at all to have it done. And the funniest part was there was also like football practice going on at the middle school. So we had like middle school kids like taking pictures of us and like getting their advice on like angles to do things and stuff. So that was pretty funny. We had to kind of like wait for football practice to get over to do certain things. But yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Hey, Kristie, your reaction?
Like she said, there was a lot going on behind us that you would have never known based off of the video. But I think that is by far the best day we had recording because it felt like we were not technically professionals in what we were doing at the time. But if you look back to a lot of the takes that we had whenever we were just a YouTube channel doing all of those videos and activities, it was take after take. We had, multiple takes that we just kept doing because we didn't like or things like that. And then that take, it was one take and done. And we're like, why couldn't it be easy like this all the time? It was fun. It was fun.
So, Kristie, I'm going to have to admit this. As you know, I have 3 daughters. My oldest daughter, Jenna, who has done fitness boot camps before, MMA style. And when I saw your video doing the push-ups, on your knuckles with the gloves and then reaching out one-armed, I was like, okay, I don't think I'm ever going to spar with you, but I would take your fitness class. And Megan, same thing with you. But Kristie, I got to tell you, when you did that scene, I'll never forget when we were all watching it as a team. We're like, we're not worthy. you know, that kind of thing. Because it was so clever, it was so energetic, and it just set the tone for what really was a great conclusion to the episodes for the fall. And just to let everyone know, I just want to show this right now, is that to recap for everyone, this series that was done is that your first 4 series were all live, 16 straight weeks. I think maybe we took 1 week off, I think July 4th week. Outside of that, though, starting in April all the way through August, there was no breaks outside of the July 4th. Talk about an aggressive schedule, doing it live. Again, these are things a lot of people don't realize. I know after that, because of being back at school, the reality is we couldn't do live anymore. So we were obviously, making them, more canned, if you would. But still, yeah, I just want everyone to realize that all these early episodes were live. And speak to that a little bit, because I don't think a lot of people realize how much more pressure there is when you're doing this live. There is no second take. You get what you get, right?
Yeah, so make sure your video is on.
Yeah, and make sure you're taking your heart rate the whole time, because my heart rate was skyrocketed when we went live because it was intense. But
I do have to say that after doing it the first time, it felt a little easier after that. It was just all in a matter of planning what we were doing to make sure we had everything ready whenever we were going live. But I do remember, I say this all the time, I felt like I was always working, because I do remember calling Baker up at 3 o'clock or sending her a message at 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, I have this brilliant idea for our next live episode, because we get in those funks, and then it just is like, bam, we have this great idea. And
well, I think people think it's easier because there's 2 of us. But a lot of times it was like, okay, what are you going to say? How are we going to say it? Should I say it this way? Like, when do you come in? When do I come in? And we have plenty of bloopers where we kind of, mess that part up of like, oh, you were supposed to come in, but then like I jumped to my part. And so sometimes that was a challenge. And most of the time it was awesome, but sometimes having 2 people in there and then kids around you, and you're worried about like, are the kids going to do what they're supposed to do? So yeah,
I do have to say, even though, yes, it is hard with 2 people, but it also felt like it was a little bit more enjoyable having 2 people, because if someone messed up, you had the other person that was there to lean on to help you out. I remember one of our playground episodes, we didn't have the right intro. And so right at the end, I made sure to say the right thing. And, Baker has my back, I have her back. And it was, we meshed really well. We're very in sync.
Well, speaking of mess ups, I have to go here. You're talking about bloopers. So I want you to react to this picture, because to me, I was there for it. It was really amazing to see this happen live. So here we go, trip down memory lane. This was during the Spaker game series. So what is going on here? It looks like your faces and your jerseys, or at least Baker's jersey, is heavily covered in whipped cream. Could you explain for the viewers what we're seeing here?
Well, to start, we were not supposed to have the jerseys on. We had actually filmed this entire episode right before this picture was taken. We filmed the entire thing once, and then Guy gives us a call and was like, what's going on? Why aren't you live right now? And Baker and I at this moment are already covered from head to toe in whipped cream. And we're like, we just did the video. And so, well, next thing you know, we didn't bring a change of clothes, and we had whipped cream on our shirts. So luckily, where we were doing our recordings, they had baseball jerseys. So we threw one of those on, and it went with the theme, now that you think about it, because we were doing Spaker games and stuff. But that was, like I said, make sure your video's on.
Yep.
So with that, what was the activity again? Because I just remember it was just priceless. I was like, this is so good for social media wasn't even funny. So Megan, what was the activity?
Yeah, we were doing a lot of like minute to win it take games, and that particular one was to get the strawberries out of the whipped cream pie the fastest. And then it kind of escalated from there and ended up into like a whipped cream like battle between Spiers and I.
To piggyback off of that, neither one of us knew which one was going to throw the whipped cream in each other's face first. And she had won the challenge, and she dug out all of the strawberries first. So she won. And then she was the one that threw her plate in my face. And then I got the whipped cream first. So
It was classic. Unfortunately, I apologize to our audience. We do not have that footage because it was shot on Periscope. So we don't have the original MP4. Otherwise, trust me, you would have seen it. So I apologize for that. But during that same time, your theme was also having a lot of fun. So let's roll this clip for everyone.
Hope you had fun. Don't forget to check your heart rate. See you tomorrow.
That was good.
you hear me at the end saying that was good.
That was good.
Well, what I think is so funny, and this is what I love about what we do here, we're so transparent. I mean, we could have taken the time to clip those really nice, but we didn't. We wanted you to see how they actually get shot down. Obviously, we edited them after the facts for obviously broadcast reason. But again, talk to us about the fun part of it, because, you know, Megan, I know you have 2 kids of your own, and it seems like the few times I was in Kansas City, you were able to bring out lots of kids, and it was just a lot of fun. And so we'll start with you, Megan, on that, on why the fun part was so important to not just to the students that were learning how to do these things or participate, but also you as an educator. Why is fun in PE and physical activity so important?
Yeah, I mean, well, we wouldn't be PE teachers if we weren't having fun and if we didn't love our job. So I think what I really learned from it was you can teach an old dog new tricks. And that was exciting and fun. And I learned a lot from Spiers. Like, it really made me feel older than I even was. Like, even with social media, like, Spiers, what do I hashtag here? You know? And she's like, oh geez, you know, do this type of thing. But it was fun. And we got our birthdays during SpakerSpot, you know, filming. The chemistry between her and I was great. And, you know, the kids, they thought it was amazing. They thought they were famous. They were YouTubers. They were like, you know, do we get merch? Do we, you know, what is happening? You know, so that was really exciting, and that's pretty cool. And at the middle school level, they always, you know, they're like, oh, that's cool. You know, you guys are YouTubers. And, you know, I'm sure it's the same at the elementary level too.
So Kristie, let's have you react to that same question.
Like I said, the fun part is just that we were able to continue doing what we love to do every day. I love my job and I love teaching, and I felt so happy that Baker wanted to do this too, because we have had so much fun. You know, yes, we gave up a lot of our summer, but what we were doing, it was fun, and we got to keep doing what we love to do. And I love her kids, and it was nice to just like be a part, and felt like even in these unusual and unprecedented times, it felt like I was still able to be a part and, you know, do my part and fulfill my purpose for the reason why we do what we do every day. And it, like we always keep saying, it has been a journey, and it's been a crazy ride, but yeah, we share our birthdays. We got to spend our birthdays together. We, you know, got to do this together, and I think that's the best part.
Absolutely. And with that, I want to point this out too, because your success was pretty amazing. Again, you launched in April and May was the first 8 weeks. You did 5. And then an interesting thing happened. The CDC came out with an 1801 funding situation that our director of Missouri Healthy Schools, Laura Beckman, was able to bring in a lot of funding for a lot of different things. But part of that was Lisa Farmer's second home. Actually, at this point, we rebranded to Tasty Tuesday, and that's when we got into the Spaker games and Spaker camp. And then at that point, you were receiving funding through the CDC grant. And What did that mean to both of you, realizing that this content is so needed and fulfilling a need of COVID-19 to helping create teacher resources? So I'll start with you, Kristie. What was your reaction when you found out in June that not only was that happening, but you were also, both of you were being featured in the newsletter for Governor Parson here in Missouri, supporting both Tasty Tuesday as well as Spaker Camp?
I was so grateful and thankful for just having the opportunity to do this, and having recognition by the governor was, top notch. And, Baker and I were doing it regardless of, being funded. We did this because we wanted to, and we wanted, like we keep saying, fulfill that need for our students and, our purpose for what we do every single day anyway. And getting the support nationally and, statewide, it is unbelievable. And I know I'm thankful for that.
Yeah. And Megan, how about you? What was your reaction when you received the funding and, of course, the endorsement from Governor Parson's office?
Yeah, I think it really took our responsibility from our students and our district to a new level, where now the responsibility became at the state and national level. And the advocacy part of it was really something that we took that responsibility in that we didn't have previously, or we didn't go into it thinking that that was going to happen. So I think that reaction to it was overwhelming and exciting. And it just took that responsibility of advocacy to a whole new level too.
Absolutely. So our next question is going to be, what have you learned from creating video content for physical activity and fitness? And Megan, we'll start with you. What have you learned from this creative process?
A lot. We did not go into this thinking that we were going to be YouTubers. This kind of was an organic thing that evolved. So I think there was a huge learning curve of just what it takes in social media. It's not just posting one time and there it is, and that's how you get all these views. There's a lot of strategic behind the scenes that I think has been really eye-opening, specifically to me, because I'm just kind of the laid back, if it happens, it happens kind of organic. It's no, you have to strategically do this and make it work. So.
All right, Kristie, how about you? What did you learn from this process?
She said it best. You have, there is so much behind everything that, and we, like she said, we didn't go in thinking that it was going to be this big hurrah of something. We went in just to, here's some content, here's some videos, and then it led to more. And I think what I've learned is just to continue being yourself, and no matter what, just go for it. Go for throwing pie in my face. What else could happen? What can happen? We don't get 100 views, and I think I kept asking, is this a big deal? We kept asking ourselves,
Good.
Is this it? So I think no matter what, just be yourself and go for it. I think that's not only the advice I would give, but that is something that I can learn from this. Keep being yourself and find yourself an acre.
There you go. All right. So Kristie, we'll stick with you. What would you have done differently now that we're at the 1-year anniversary? Looking back, is there anything maybe you would have slightly done differently?
Go in with a bigger picture.
What do you mean by that?
Giving ourselves more credit than what we did originally. We, like I said, we went in, just to show some videos, fulfill the need for our students, give them something that they can do with their families at home, outside. And we kept it small whenever we were doing it. And I think if we would have gone in and had a bigger picture for not only for ourselves, but, overall, it could have been bigger. We could have, invested a little bit more time into the things that we did, or, all that sort of stuff that we just never thought of.
Sure. And then Megan will ask you the same question. What would you have done differently?
Yeah, a lot of the same thing. I think it's just, we tell our students to think big, dream big, but that's not what we kind of started out as. And I think had we done that, we would have been like a little more ready for the pivots and had a better strategy between Spiers and I on what we would have done in that big picture idea. And we just kind of had to pivot in the moment. And so I think that think big, dream big is kind of that slogan for that.
Absolutely. So it leads me to my next question. You touched on it a little bit, but we really want to get a little more in depth here. What was your reaction? Here it is. Again, you start your first episode in April. We just had success. Sean Neville's had success after his third episode. You're coming in, first time ever doing anything live. That's the other thing I think a lot of people forget. First time live. I'm teaching you how to use Periscope. Obviously, you're a quick study, but still being live, doing this for real. And your very first episode, you were well over like 1,300 views. And all the way up until when school started, every episode that SpakerSpot did was always over somewhere between 1,000 to about 1,800 views, which speaks obviously to people wanting the content, using the content. And what was your reaction? Because SpakerSpot received a lot of state level support. We just talked about the governor's office. The Missouri PTA also gave a huge shout out many times. On the national level, you have Shape America. You have also the Missouri PTA. Back at the state level, you have MoShape. And there's been some other groups that have been supporting the Missouri Schools of Coordinated Schools. Also was big supporters. So what was that like right away when you're getting all of this support coming right out of the gate, pretty much from your first episode on? And we'll go ahead and start with you, Kristie.
If they didn't know my name, they do now. I think it's not all about that, but I think just even being recognized and, being the talk of conversation, I think that alone is a good feeling. I would have never thought that other states and their programs would even, want, because I think I remember a conversation I was having with, and I can't remember who, but they were from like North Carolina. Mm-hmm. And they're like, you and SpakerSpot, like, holy cow, how can we do that? They wanted to do the stuff that Missouri was doing, on behalf of MoShape. And just like getting that recognition is crazy, because I would have never thought that only 5 years into teaching that this is where I would be. And having an acre to do it all with me, it's just amazing. I loved getting just like even recognized and acknowledged, like they wanted to do what we were doing. So,
right.
Yeah.
And Megan, how about you?
I think so. I think there are many times where we kind of looked at each other, kind of like pinched ourselves, like, is this really happening? Like, is that really, are we that, are we good at this? Are we doing this okay? Yeah. But and I think all our preparation from our undergrads and our experience teaching, we were ready to take on that responsibility. So it was like, is this happening? All right, cool, let's do it. And then it was kind of like game on from there, and it's been, soaring ever since.
So with that, my next question is going to believe, what do you believe is the secret to your success? Or as Spiers would tell me, what is the secret sauce? Megan, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I think it's chemistry. I mean, it started with just like, hey, you want to do this little idea? And it went from there to be able to play off of each other, to have constructive criticism, to have a dynamic duo. To be able to do that, I think is really, really what makes it special, because it goes beyond content from there into what our chemistry is and what our goals and passion are for our students and our state and our national organizations. So I really think it starts chemistry, and it builds and builds from there.
So with that, Kristie, let's now go to you.
Like she said, it's our personality and, you know, our chemistry. I truly believe it's us, you know, and I think even you, Guy, has even said that people watch you guys, you know, and our demeanors and our comments and how much fun we have. And that alone, that energy that we have even behind the scenes and stuff, that is just us, you know. We have fun and we make it fun. You know, we make do with the little things and the little things that happen, you know, we just go with it. We roll with the punches and, you know, it's just so fun, you know, and I say it all the time, get yourself an anchor, find yourself the person that you can do it with. And it, you know, it coming from different backgrounds, me being in elementary and Baker being at the middle school, we have so much together that we just brainstorm right off the bat. Like her views were different than my views, and we just combine them, coming up with all of this randomness. And here we are. We're SpakerSpot, and get yourself an anchor. I'm going to keep saying it.
Yep.
So we have to ask this question. It goes without saying, and Megan, will start with you. What is the future of SpakerSpot?
Oh, we got some things rolling. We got some ideas. We're going to take some pivots.
But you're just going to have to find out. You're just going to have to find out.
Yep.
We have a lot of things that we're going to be rolling out soon, so just be on the lookout.
Fair enough. And I do want to tell you one short little story. Speaking of the success that SpakerSpot's had, through the last, I would say the last 3 to 4 months, you know, I've had some other video content creators, you know, reach out to me. And I got to tell you, it's pretty cool that I put on my own resume, obviously producing, you know, being the executive producer or packaging your episodes and your shows, whether it was live or canned, you know, that were pre-recorded. But it's just pretty exciting to know that, you know, you stepped up like pretty quickly when the stay-at-home order hit, and you were going on an aggressive schedule for well into like 32 weeks. That, I mean, almost, that's about a little more than half a year. I just want to make sure everyone realizes how much content that you two produced, which was pretty amazing. And so with that being said, I want to give you guys the opportunity to give some shout outs, because I'm sure there's some people you might want to shout out to. So let's go ahead and get to the shout outs. And we'll go ahead and you can just fire away.
Laura Beckham, of course, our biggest supporter.
Missouri Healthy Schools all around, you know, like what Baker said, Laura Beckman, she was a very big supporter of ours, along with, you know, Lisa with her Stuck at Home Snacks and Tasty Tuesdays. She was always there to give us some clapping hands and shout outs. So, yeah.
Mo Shape, of course. And we have Stephanie Morris. We have Shape America with Joey Martelli. Carly Wise with the PTA, sorry. And Sandy Moore with Heart Zone.
One of the biggest shout outs that I think has already been established is Sean Neville's. Thanks, you know, without his message to us and asking us to step in under him, we wouldn't have been here. So thank you, Sean Neville.
And our greatest supporter, of course, Guy Danhoff. So
no.
All the lessons we have learned.
Well, you know what I think it's time for? I think it's time for the Spaker. You got your cups? I'll go a little more widescreen here. It's time to do the little clanging. There we go. It's time to. All I can say is that you two have taught me so much. I'm not going to lie. There are times you've inspired me to maybe think about becoming a physical educator, even though I know that, you know, I'm not going to be able to do that. But what you two have done for me is just have taught me the work that you do every single day matters and being able to work so closely with you each and every week, seeing the creativity that you do. And it's also launched for me an opportunity to work with other video content creators. And I think I told you the story. Recently I got a chance to work with Matt Woods, who is getting recognized for the work that he's doing in the state of Washington. And he's not just become a YouTuber, but he's also won an award from the Apple Innovation Award for the Golden Apple at his school district. And I got a chance to see his acceptance speech from his school district. And all I can say is you two have inspired this kind of genre, if you would, of video content creators for teacher resources. And we know that we need more. And that's why I cannot wait to see what you two are up to next, because we know one thing, it's going to be all zag all day. And the other thing is that I think what I maybe find most fascinating is that, and people ask me all the time, what do you two like? And I literally say this every time: what you see on screen is who they are. That was so evident when we spent some time when I was in Kansas City with you for a couple days. Same thing with Lisa Farmer. It was one of my favorite trips I've ever made to Kansas City. Well, of course, what can I say, Megan? You brought in some Jack Stacks, so what more can I say about that barbecue? But the reality is the work that you two do is inspired a lot of different groups, and it's just fun working with all kinds of groups nationally that are creating content. And also, I even look at the great work like MoShape has done through Missouri Healthy Schools with those teacher resources, those Mo Ready resources that Patrick Fine, Sally Schulte, and Brad Brummel have put together, and how you've also been part of putting some content for that together. We're actually going to be putting that out on Saturday and Sunday and Monday. We're going to be putting those back out because we know it's time to go outside. But I think what you two have done and taught me the most is that your mindset's pretty simple. You're always thinking all zag all day. And I love the fact you bring so much fun and innovation to each and every episode. You treated it like it was your last. And I think that also has a lot to do with your secret sauce, how authentic you two are to the profession and to yourself. So I'll just tip my hat to both you guys. I mean, on that, because it's been a blast. It's been a wild and crazy and fun ride. And yeah, so that's what I had to say. And just want to say thank you. And in case our viewers would like to know, where can I see past episodes? Really simple. You can go right here to mohealthyschools.com. You can see, I think most of the series are posted there. And so you can, check out all the past episodes. And certainly if there's any more new episodes to happen, trust me, you'll find out here at Missouri Healthy Schools, because we'll be breaking that news in real time, as you know. So with that, let's give with our parting shots, and let's go ahead and start with Kristie. We'll start with you. What would you like to say as we're wrapping up 1 year anniversary here on SpakerSpot?
It's been a 1 year anniversary and we're just getting started. So be on the lookout for more of us in your coming dates. You never know whenever we're going to just pop in. So we look forward to where we are going, and we love all the support that we've been given, whether it's just thank yous and, all of that, all of the wonderful comments that we have been given. But it's been a great ride, and I am looking forward to continuing to work with Megan Baker, my acre to my SpakerSpot.
All right, Megan, your parting shot.
I mean, happy 1 year anniversary. It has been the biggest ride, and we are on this journey, and I am so glad to have Kristie Spiers with me. So thankful for everybody that has supported us and continues to show us support. And I'm excited for what spot, and I can't wait to have some merch. So thank you guys. We're excited to see you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and comment. We'll see you guys next time.
And don't forget your heart rate.
Yeah, we'll definitely make sure they check out the video about how to take your heart rate. So with that, you have been watching the 1 year anniversary of SpakerSpot for Kristie Spiers, Megan Baker, the dynamic duo of SpakerSpot. I am Guy Danhoff. And we'll see you next time right here on our special edition for Mo Health Media.